Well, first up, let's tell you about what is happening in West Asia. US President Donald Trump has said that US is prepared to launch more strikes on Iran if Iran refuses to agree to a peace deal. However, he has added that he's willing to wait for a few more days before making any final decision, hoping to get the right answers from Iran as well. And that is the latest what we are learning. As far as Donald Trump is concerned, he has said that he's willing to wait for a few days to get the right answers on Iran peace deal. He described the situation as being right on the borderline, warning that tensions could rise very quickly depending on Iran's response. He also said that, in fact, he would be waiting for a few days to get the answer on the Iran deal. So it remains to be seen how it really pans out and what Iranian side has to say on this. But very importantly, his remarks come amid the growing concern over the instability in West Asia and the possibility of further military escalation between the two countries. Let me bring in my colleague Mayank on this. Mayank, good morning. President Donald Trump has said that he's prepared to launch more attacks on Iran if Iran refuses to agree to a peace deal. However, he has said that he's willing to wait for a few more days before making any final decision. Is waiting for Iran to come back as far as the peace deal between the two countries they are concerned. Take us through the statement, and has any counter come in from Iran on this?
Good morning, Akansha, and good morning to the viewers. Since last, almost 3-4 weeks, similar kind of words have been exchanged between both Iran and the US. So whatever we hear now is actually, it is sounding, most of it is sounding similar to what he was saying, that the president of US was saying in almost 3-4 days back also. So what we see is actually it's a sort of a pressure tactics, and being the kind of environment and the pressure which has built up because of the stoppage of all kind of movement in Strait of Hormuz, it is another a way to pressurize Iran to accept the kind of deal which has been proposed. Now, the deal primarily lies on stopping Iran from any kind of enrichment of fissile material, which is in this case is uranium, and also to hand over the 440 kg of already enriched uranium to the US. So the things have got seized, or they have stopped at this point. But Strait of Hormuz is a kind of a indirect build-up which has encompassed the whole world. So the kind of pressure which has built up on US is because of Strait of Hormuz, which in a way has been used like a strategic tool by the Iran. So the pressure is such primarily that the movement starts in Iran, and all kind of vessels which is merchant and civil, they start moving from that side, and that will help India also. So what we see is actually these kinds of words, they are to pressurize, to shape the environment in such a way that the conditions are accepted by Iran in this case. And mind it, last we heard of enrichment also. There were sub conditions like Iran should be completely stopping all kind of enrichment. And the period initially was quoted to be almost 20 years, to which Iran had reacted that they could get ready for at least 5 years. So what we see is actually sort of a pressure tactics, and there had been lots of questions. You see, none of the other nations, which includes NATO nations, have been supportive of such kind of things like hardcore military operations. So we might not see such things. Iran has, as of now, not reacted on this, or they had been also saying earlier that they are ready to take on the fight, and they'll be also raising the cost of things for US also.
Absolutely, because Iran has been saying that they will not succumb to any sort of pressure. Donald Trump at this time has said that he will be launching more attacks on Iran if it does not agree to a peace deal. However, he will be waiting for a few more days before making any final decision, hoping to get the right answers from Tehran, is what he has said. Let's listen in to what Donald Trump, US President, said.
It's right on the borderline, believe me. If we don't get the right answers, it goes very quickly. We're all ready to go. We have to get the right answers. It would have to be a complete 100% good answers. And if we do, we save a lot of time, energy, and lives, most importantly.
How long will you wait?
Could go very quickly. Or a few days. It could be a few days, but it could go very quickly. Iran is a defeated nation. We're dealing with some people, and we're dealing, actually, I must tell you, we're dealing with some very good people. We're dealing with people that are, I think, far more reasonable than the people that are really no longer with us. We're dealing with some people with talent, with good brain power, and we're pretty impressed by it. So hopefully those people will make a deal that's going to be great for everybody.
Are you getting tired of the
But I don't know. Do I get what? I never get tired. But
And now responding to the rising tensions with the United States, the Iranian president has said that Iran remains committed to diplomacy and peaceful engagement despite the growing pressure put on their country. In fact, in a post that he has shared on social media, he has stated that Iran has honored the commitments and has explored every possible way to avoid the war. He also rejected the idea that Iran could be forced into surrender through threats and pressure, calling such expectations illusions, also saying that there is the importance of the dialogue, and Iranian president has said that diplomacy based on mutual respect is wiser, safer and more sustainable path than the military conflict. His remarks, as we told you, come amid the increasing tensions between US and Iran once again, and this has come after US President Donald Trump has warned that US is prepared to carry out further attacks if Iran does not agree to a peace deal. And in that backdrop, we have a reaction coming in from the Iranian president. He has said that Iran remains committed to diplomacy and peaceful engagement despite the growing pressure coming in from the United States. And now in a post that he has shared on social media, Iranian president has stated that Iran has honored the commitment and has explored every possible way to avoid the war. He rejected the idea that Iran could be forced into surrender through threats, calling such expectations by the United States complete illusion. He also said that importance should instead be put on the dialogue between the two countries. Let me take you through what Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian has posted on social media after what Donald Trump said, because Trump has essentially said that he will be attacking Iran once again if Iran does not agree to a peace deal. And to that, the Iranian president has said that Iran has honored its commitment and explored every avenue to avoid the war. All paths remain open from our side. Forcing Iran to surrender through coercion is nothing but an illusion. Mutual respect in diplomacy is far wiser, safer and more sustainable than the war. So this has been the stand of Iran since day one, that they will not be succumbing to any sort of pressure that has come in from the United States. Let me once again go back to my colleague Mayank on this. Mayank, put this into perspective. What is the situation? Do make our viewers understand that, because the back channel talks are underway, the ceasefire is there. But what really is the friction point at this point in time? Because Donald Trump is saying that he will be attacking Iran if they do not agree to the peace deal, but he will be waiting for a few more days to get the right answer. So what is that right answer, according to Trump?
Since the ceasefire took place and the kind of indirect talk which took place in Pakistan, which was on April 11th. So, since then, there had been lots of exchange of notes, back and forth, and Pakistan has been acting as a intermediary to the conditions and the kind of proposals which have come from the US side. So they had been carrying, and there had been lots of high-profile visits and exchange of dignitaries between both Iran and Pakistan. And considering that, it had been seen, or it had been often reported that the two sides have been talking about the way the things are. Primarily, everything has got stopped because of the agreement on Iran giving up all its plans to acquire or ability to assemble a nuclear weapon. And that had been right from the beginning, apart from multiple other aims and goals of Operation Epic Fury, which was launched on 28th February. So the primary condition was initially to change the regime, and then also to blunt the ability of Pakistan to acquire any kind of nuclear weapon, also to blunt its capability to not help any of its proxies, which in this case had been Hamas, Houthi and Hezbollah, which is in Lebanon. But now, primarily, everything is hovering around how Iran reacts to the conditions which have been proposed, that they announced moratorium to all kind of enrichment of uranium in their plans. So this is the primary thing. But then, yes, there had been back-channel talks, there had been exchange of things, conditions were already put up, now some conditions are being spoken about or talked of, and we may see actually, but then Iran is not ready to give up the most important chip in hand, which is enrichment of uranium or acquiring the capability to assemble nuclear weapons. And this is what, right from the first 11th of April, while J.D. Vance was leaving Pakistan, he had also said that things could not go ahead because of disagreement on nuclear issues. So since then only, the primary condition because of which the talks have been not moving forward is Iran getting ready to give up all its choice to enrich uranium.
All right. Mayank, do tell us more about the ceasefire as well, because it was announced on 8th of April, then it was extended, but there is no fixed date or time that Donald Trump had given that time around. What is it really tied to? Because at this point in time, even though the back-channel talks are underway, there's a lot of friction between the two countries. Iran has been maintaining that they will not be coming under pressure to accept a deal. Meanwhile, on the other hand, not just Donald Trump, but also the vice president there as well in the United States, he has been saying in the past few days that they are locked and loaded and they will be attacking if the deal is not reached.
Going by the words which have come up, we have to understand that in every case of such sensitive talks or in such sensitive situations wherein two countries have gone for war and almost for 42 days, and after that they are talking to each other on certain conditions, is that both countries would want the best for their country or would want their most of the conditions met as it is. Or accepted by the other side as it is. So this is also it can be used as a psychological pressure or to influence the people of the country that they pressurize their leaders to accept the conditions. And such kind of words, both sides have been using similar terms in one way or the other. That they would turn. Let's say there was. President Trump had. Initially said that he'll be bombing Iran to the Stone Age. And Iran, on the other side, was saying that they'll be raising the cost, which will be unbearable for years. And similar words in one way or the others have been used. So what we see is actually it's a sort of a pressure tactics. And you have already said that ceasefire was announced on April 8th. There were talks on April 11th. And since then, there had been lots of exchange of notes between the two nations using Pakistan, because the U.S. had been using Pakistan indirectly to send its conditions, or rather, Pakistan had been passing the kind of talk they had been holding with Iran to the U.S. So what we see primarily is sort of a war of words, because again, the similar medium will be used, which is air, and missiles will be used in such case, which Iran has also been showing hints or evidences that they still have some stockpile.
All right.
And that would make things really complicated. So the country has to, or all over the other countries have been in one way or the other pressurizing that the things should come to a ceasefire. That's the point. Absolutely.
It remains to be seen how this really pans out. But at the time, we're learning that Iran has also reacted to the warning that has been given by Donald Trump. And he has said that he believes in diplomacy and dialogue and will not be coming under pressure. We have another breaking update coming in. Another reaction that is coming from Donald Trump. He said and claimed that global oil prices could soon fall sharply as the oil tankers have started moving again through the important Strait of Hormuz amid the easing tensions linked to Iran as well. And speaking on the ongoing situation, he has posted on social media that oil will come tumbling down, predicting a major increase in the oil movement in the coming days. He added that tankers will start moving very soon and claimed that nearly 1,600 ships are ready to transit once the conditions stabilize.
And on the Iran, I had no choice because they were going to have a nuclear weapon. We're not going to give them a nuclear weapon. But that's going to end soon, one way or the other. Oil is going to come tumbling down. There's so much oil. We have 1,600 ships in the Strait that are loaded up with oil that are going to be coming out very soon. So we'll have to see. But The military has been unbelievable. The blockade has been infallible. Not one ship has gotten through the blockade. 37 have tried. They all wish they didn't.
Tell us about your call.
And on the Iran, I had no choice because they were going to have a nuclear weapon.
So the back-channel talks are underway and the ceasefire is there in place. Will it hold in the future as well? That's a big question that we will be keeping you updated on. And with this, a very short break. More news and updates on the other side.